Hugh, you are the convener of cricket at the Singapore Cricket Club. What does the responsibility entail? Tell us a bit about your job.
The Convener of Cricket at Singapore Cricket Club involves being responsible for the cricket section within the club. We have about 350 members of the section, so it's quite a large section within the club. Fortunately, I have the support of a great committee to conduct a lot of the activities that the section needs to do. Our captain of cricket, Dean Border, looks after all the selections for the league teams, looks after liaison with SCA on player matters and also registration of players. Then we have a youth development squad that Andy Williams takes care of, and in his time in that job he's built the youth squad up very nicely. We've got a number of players from that squad who are actually playing in the Singapore under-19 side at the moment. So we've got some very good youth coming through the club. Finances are very important. Will Tipping looks after that with support of Rowan Kapoor. Then we have a fixtures secretary who looks after all the fixtures for the leagues and the social fixtures of the Saturday 11 team, which is our veteran side. And then we have on the social cricket side a secretary of social cricket, DJ Ratnam.
I believe you play for the Saturday 11 yourself.
I do play for the Saturday 11, and I feel it every game that I play. I think it won't be very long before I have to call it a day, but at the moment I'm still playing.
And you mentioned Singapore Cricket Association. How does the SCC work with the SCA?
We liaise pretty closely with the SCA. The club has 3 members on the executive committee of the SCA, including the president. We have 2 members on the Singapore selection committee, and we're also on the tournament committee. So we get very involved in the workings of SCA and the planning of tournaments.
Okay, and so you've clearly seen the game of cricket grow in Singapore. Considering Singapore's size, and clearly the excitement continues to grow. What do you think is the future of the game in Singapore?
Yeah, the game has grown a lot in the last 10 to 15 years in Singapore, mainly driven by a lot of people coming to Singapore, mainly from the subcontinent. So we see a lot of growth in the subcontinental players in Singapore, many of whom stay on, become permanent residents or even citizens of Singapore, and they've added to the strength of Singapore cricket over the years, as is evidenced by recently Singapore finished 3rd in the Division 3 ICC 50 over tournament and only missed promotion to Division 2 because of a run rate. So they played very well. That was a tournament held in Uganda. So the game's growing very strongly. One area that we need to work on, and we're trying to do our bit, and SCA is trying to do its bit as well, is bring cricket more to the schools in Singapore, to get more local involvement of the local Singaporeans who are born here, to get them attracted to the game and get them playing. So we're helping SCA in the efforts to do that.
And how is that progressing? Are you able to attract young talent?
We are attracting young talent, but it's a slow process. It's a process of educating the kids about the game. There's a group within Singapore called How's That Cricket, which develops youngsters from the ages of 5 and 6 through to about 12, 13 when they move on to the more senior of the junior coaching ranks, if I can put it that way. So there is a vibrant development, but it takes time to get these kids involved in the game and to really love the game.
But amongst these children, do you also see kids who are not from subcontinent or Australia or England? Do you see some Chinese kids also getting interested?
Not so much. The Chinese kids are rare in the game. Many years ago there were a number of Chinese players who played for Singapore, but I don't think that's happened for a few years now. And that's one of the challenges we face, that we do need to get the Chinese Singaporeans involved, because we need to put cricket more on the map here to get more government support, and obviously the Chinese population is the largest ethnic part of Singapore, and so we do really need to engage with the Chinese community with cricket.
So, question on the SCC 2020 2017 tournament. Singapore has got such unpredictable weather. and there are 3 days of the tournament. How do you think will you be able to maintain a consistent pitch? What kind of pitch can the players expect?
I think the players can expect a very fair wicket. It'll be a true wicket. We spend a number of weeks before the tournament preparing the padang, and I know the groundsmen at IA will be doing the same for the first 2 days of the tournament, which 2 days are at IA, 3 days are at the padang. Our groundsman Rashid has been here for 10 years. He's prepared the pitches for all the previous T20s. All the teams who have played in the past have been very complimentary of the way the wickets have played. So we have full faith in him that he will be able to prepare a very fair wicket for both batsmen and bowlers to produce some exciting cricket over the 3 days of the tournament.
I believe he has some clever tricks up his sleeve. You were talking about it.
He does have some very clever tricks. It's an old Indian tradition, I believe. Chilies and onions scattered around the ground to make sure the rain stays away. Last tournament that we held in 2014, that worked very well. It only rained once for a short period of time. So fingers crossed that we'll have the same luck this year.
I mean, so much more organic than seeding clouds, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Okay, thank you.